Okay, let's jump into today's session. So today we're going to talk about scheduling, using your calendar effectively. Okay, so a lot of us don't use our calendar to the highest degree. Time blocking, the importance of time blocking, and then using a 411. So depending on if you guys have any questions, please feel free, raise your hand or just shout at me. I don't care. And we'll answer the questions as we go along. I'm estimating it should probably take us about half an hour to get through all the content that I want to cover today. Okay, so does anybody right now currently use a calendar to a high level?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm trying
All right.
to. Yeah.
A low
Trying
level.
to, yep. Low level. Okay.
Low level.
So there's a great quote that I heard once, and it's from Yoda from Star Wars, literally, funny enough, but it's do or do not. There is no try, right? Great quote. So there's, it's either we do it or we don't do it, right? I find I use my calendar. I'm going to share my screen now so that way you guys can see it. This is like what my calendar looks like. Okay. I have literally everything scheduled on my calendar. Okay. Even this coaching session right there, coaching training, boom, right there. CMA earlier today. I have a gym workout tonight. I got my guitar lesson at 7:30. I'm going over to my girlfriend's house after. Sometimes I would even put that in. Like I'll literally put in my calendar, go over to Mackenzie's house, right? It sounds stupid, but if I don't, I will forget about it. So the importance of the calendar is one. Has anybody ever been late to an appointment before because they forgot about it? Or has anyone missed an appointment completely because they've forgotten about it? Has that ever happened to any of you guys?
Yep.
Okay. How did that feel? How did that make you feel?
Silly. Well, I tend to not miss the time. I tend to sometimes miss the date.
Oh, the date. Okay.
So if I don't write it down, I'll be like, oh yeah, I have an appointment on Wednesday and it's actually on Thursday. So I'll be like, hi.
You would go there.
Well, yeah.
Oh gosh. That's
That's even worse.
Yeah, that's even worse. You're right. That's actually, look at that. There it is there. This perfect example on my calendar. Mackenzie's house, Saturday at 2:00. I'm supposed to go to my girlfriend's house. That's in my calendar, going to her house, right? I just saw that now. But yeah, like that's the worst, right? When you go to an appointment, whether it be early or late, it's, time is the one thing that we cannot pay for, right? We cannot get that back. So for me, I'm a big believer in respecting people's time and respecting my own time. So I have this, I cannot stand it. Like it literally drives me crazy that if I hire a painter or a contractor or somebody to my house and they say they're going to be there at 9:00 and I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait for you to be there. If they're not there by like 9:05, I'm literally like, I'm livid. I cannot handle it because it's like, my world does not revolve around you, right? So if you're telling me you're going to be here at this time, be there at that time, right? Unless if you're running late, it's fine, but just give me a heads up, right? Because I might have other stuff in the day that I got to do. And on the flip side of that, I'm very intentional with that with my clients. So we had a client, we went on a CMA, we booked it for 3:30. We showed up at 3:29 on the dot. We were there for 3:30. And the guy said to us, he goes, "You're late." And like my initial reaction to respond to him, because right away we're off to a bad start. It was Rob's CMA. So I didn't want to, it's one of his first CMAs. So I didn't want to say anything. But in that circumstance, I would actually have defended myself and said, no. We set this appointment for 3:30. I pride myself on being early. I am here on time. I am here, right? Like, don't tell me I'm late, because that's something that I take very seriously. So I wanted to go to that approach. I didn't. I let it go, and I just went along with the appointment. It was a nightmare of an appointment anyways, but I let it go. So when you're looking at your calendar, I would advise you guys, whether it be a handwritten calendar or a physical or a Google calendar, take advantage of it. Okay, put all your appointments in there. Time block your time, essentially. Does anybody know what time blocking is? Do you guys know before I explain it? Okay, so essentially time blocking is a certain amount of time in your calendar that you're going to set aside where you're doing that task and that task only. Okay, so for example, my calendar here, I have time blocked from 9 a.m. till noon every day. So I'm just going to throw on my AirPods here. Give me 1 second. Works. Can you guys hear me okay? Can somebody say something?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I got you. Okay, great. So I time block my time. So every day from 9 o'clock till 12 is lead generation time.
That's the only time in that day that we lead generate. Obviously in the afternoon, we'll do follow-ups and whatnot. But in order to get an appointment in this time, it has to be incredibly important. Like it has to be so for example, this is the first time we had a coaches meeting. I had one with Steph and Jen and Dylan. It's the first time it's ever been that early. And I was still hesitant. They're going to see this video afterwards. I was still like, I don't want to take it because it's right in the middle of that lead gen time. It's kind of tricky. Luckily, I had a light day, so I knew that during the afternoon, I'd be able to make up for that time. And that's the reason why I took it, right? Because it is definitely, it's definitely a challenge if you book inside of your time block times. Those are times in your calendar that you're supposed to defend, right? So lead gen time is one of those times for sure. Does anybody have time blocked for their lead gen time? No?
I have, yep.
Okay, and what time do you have blocked off?
9 till 11:30.
Okay, fantastic. So now if I called you, if I was a buyer and I said, no, Dorota, I want to book a showing for Tuesday at 10 o'clock, would you take me or no?
Well, I'm a really new agent, so I probably would, but I would try to.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. I love that. And what you're going to say to them is, listen, I already have an appointment booked at that time frame. How does 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock work for you? Right? I know it sounds crazy to try to rebook them for another time, but by you delaying your time that you're associating to lead generation, you're going to set yourself back down the road, right? You're a buyer now. Haley, welcome Haley back to the chat. I didn't know if we'd catch you back here. You came in. You're
yeah.
like,
Hey, sorry. I got a phone call just, and I'm on my phone. So I got a phone call just as it was starting, but I'm really glad I picked it up because now I have an appointment for a home valuation next week.
Oh, beautiful. Congratulations. And where did that appointment come from?
So I did an open house at a listing. The very first two people who walked into the open house were like, full disclosure, we're neighbors. We want to sell. We're not interested in buying this house. And I was like, you're exactly who I want to come through. I can just, close the door and like lock everything up now. Like that's all I needed.
Literally.
So they recommended me. So I did a home valuation for them. And they just recommended me to a friend who randomly called me. So I love it when business comes to you. That's awesome.
That's my favorite. It's the best kind of business out there for sure. So we're pretty much just chatting about time blocking your calendar right now and working through your schedule to put the importance of stuff like lead generation, appointment setting. So for example, now, this is the perfect example actually. So Haley now books an appointment, okay? So in the afternoons, if you went on an appointment in the morning, you lost that lead generation time, you now have to make it up in the afternoon. But what if all of a sudden, out of the blue, you get a call from a buyer or a seller that says, hey, we want you to come by and take a look at the house. Now you're gonna have to go that afternoon in order to do it, which then means that your lead generation is now gone for the day, right? So now tomorrow you're gonna have to try to play catch up, which is a lot harder to do, and to maintain the numbers that you might wanna maintain if you're trying to scale your team to a certain level, right? So it's super important that, it might hurt being a new realtor to not take the appointment at a certain time, but it's also very critical. Like it's super, super important that you stick to your schedule and you stick to the times that you've told yourself, no, I'm not doing anything. The best example I can have of this is if you went to Florida, or if you're on vacation, you're in California, wherever the hell you want to go. If all of a sudden in the middle of your trip, I called you and said, I'm a seller. I need you to come over to my house right now to do a selling appointment or a CMA. You would tell me what? I can't, I'm unavailable today, right? Same thing, okay? You're the one that can dictate the time. You're the professional, so you are the one that is supposed to put in the time and essentially set the appointment, right? So if somebody comes to you and says, they want to meet you at 9 o'clock in the morning, try to push it for later in the afternoon. Hey, listen, 9 o'clock's a little bit tricky for me. Are you able to do 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock? If you literally can't get them in any other time, I've had this happen to me 2 weeks ago. Client, I've been cold calling him for a while. And he said to me, listen, I'm going to be at the house. He's a power of attorney. It's his mother's house. He said, I'm going to be at the house on the Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or no, it was like a Thursday, I think. I'm going to be there at 9 o'clock. I'm leaving at 11 and I won't be back till next Tuesday. If you can come by at this time, perfect. If not, I'll see you next week. And in my mind, I thought, okay, I don't want to wait an extra week. I want to get the appointment in now and try to book them in and try to sign them. So I took it. It was the first time in my career I've taken a listing appointment at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I went there and it worked out because we signed the listing, right? But that's because I had that gut feeling from that conversation we had with him on the phone. Otherwise, I would have told him, you know, okay, we'll try to reschedule for a later date or time, right? Okay, so now that we're looking at the calendar, the next important thing, obviously, being time blocking. Does everyone kind of get an idea of what time blocking is?
Mhm.
Okay, so the next main thing about time blocking is you have to set time for yourself in between appointments as well. So for example, I had a CMA. The reason why I had to change the time today for the coaching call is because I had a CMA, a last minute CMA, literally booked it last night for a beautiful home in King at 1 o'clock today. It was supposed to be scheduled for 2, which was during our time. And I tried to reschedule it for 12, okay? And the guy that is taking care of it's also for his mother. He had called us and said, is there any way we can do 1 o'clock? It's the only time it's like my lunch break and I'll be able to zoom in to the call with you guys. So we were able to make it work. Unfortunately, I had to move the coaching call back an hour. But if I left the coaching call, I would have had from 1 o'clock till 2 for the CMA. And then I would have had from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock for the coaching call. And it wouldn't have worked, right? I would have had 5 minutes to get back to the office and back on Zoom and prepared for this call, right? So you need to have a gap in between your appointments as well in order to, one, prepare. Travel time, that's always one of the things that people forget about. And so you do need to have travel time associated with whatever it is that you're going, because that is just something that, you know, if there's traffic, an accident, that's stuff that you can't predict, right? So you need that extra little bit of time to kill in the event that, you know, there is an accident or there is traffic. It buys you a little bit of time. So for example, here, like this afternoon, I'm going to a friend of mine, she's out in Stouffville. We're doing a personal training session. So from 3 o'clock till 4, I have associated here for the coaching call. After this point, from 4 o'clock till 5:30, I'm completely free. Okay. So what I'm going to do during that time is I'm going to do some follow-up, I think I got to catch up on my calls from this morning because I was preparing for today's CMA. And then essentially around 5 o'clock, I'm going to head out to Stouffville, which is where the gym is located. Right. So that gives me time. And then from 5:30 till 6:30, I'm there, which gives me an hour to get back to my house, grab my guitar, and then hit my guitar lesson at 7:30. Right. Sounds a bit crazy, but that's kind of how I break down everything. If I had it all back to back to back, I would, 1, be incredibly stressed, and 2, I'd be late for everything. Okay. So let's dive into the next main thing, which is your 411s. Let me just find a copy of that. Does anybody have any questions so far, by the way? Everybody's good? Okay. Okay. So I think this is an example one that I've prepared. I don't know if I've looked at this over. Okay. So this is what a 411 is. Does anybody know what a 411 is? Just out of curiosity. There's one located in the resource folder. Under your name, you'll find a copy of a 411, or I think it might be called a GPS. Actually, no, sorry, that's a 135. Yeah, so there should be a copy of a 411 in there as well. So essentially, a 411 is you have one annual goal, 4 categories, and you're pretty much breaking it down to a weekly basis, right? So my annual goal, this is our annual section. So for business, health, finance, and personal, this is correct. Business, health, business, health, financial, and personal. These are all the annual goals that I'm going to have, okay? Then we're going to break it down to a monthly basis. What is it that I need to do on a monthly basis in order to get to those goals? And then we're going to have weekly goals in order to disregard the save 50,000. That, again, this is a sample one that I just had to put the text boxes in.
That's
this
cool.
is going to break it.
Save 50,000 every day.
Every week. Yeah, every week.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great goal to have. Yeah, if you can do that, you're golden. You're good. So this will break it down on a weekly basis. Okay. So does anybody have a goal that they would mind sharing with me, whether it be a personal, financial, health goal, or business goal? Anybody got something that's good? Come on, somebody's got to have a goal out there.
I've been exercising.
Exercising. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that goal.
Yeah,
So,
I've been exercising 3 times a week, just like that.
Okay, so there you go. So there's one. Exercising 3 times a week, right? So we're going to have that as our annual goal. And then a monthly goal, obviously, depending on however many weeks there are in the month, it's going to be, 12 to 15 times, right? Or whatever it is. So exercise 12 to 15 times. And then we're going to break it down to our weekly goal. So this is now the weekly section. So this week we're going to say Monday,
Wednesday.
Tuesday, and let's go Friday.
Okay.
Workout, right? Doesn't have to, it could be any, whatever, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, doesn't really matter. So those are your 3 times that week that you're going to be working out. Okay. And then on top of that, maybe you have, you want to drink 3,000 liters of water every day. So you're going to put that down, drink, 3,000 liters of water, or 3 liters of water. Sorry, not 3,000 liters, 3 liters of water per day.
Purchase a box of Depends.
There you go. Yeah. And whatever else that you might need, right? So same thing. Okay. Personal goals. One of mine might be skydiving. Okay. So on a monthly basis, what is it? I'm not going to go skydiving every month, but what is it that I can do on a monthly basis to start learning about that? Right. Okay. So on a monthly goal, I can start saving for it, save money for skydiving.
Research.
I can research it, watch videos, visit the venue or the site, I guess, or maybe the plane, I don't know. So essentially watch videos, and then you're going to, again, break it down to that weekly goal. So this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set aside, this is all supposed to take place in this week here. Save $500 for skydiving, okay? Or it could be, pick a location for skydiving, okay? That's my one goal for this week in my personal section, because that's the only personal goal that I have, right? Now, obviously, not everybody has one personal goal. They're gonna have tons, right? You're gonna have tons of goals in all categories, which is great. The 411 is essentially supposed to help you hit those goals. So the best way to look at it as well, when we break down to the bottom half here, so save $500. Let's say the week goes by and I didn't save any money for it. This goal, that weekly goal, now has to carry over to the next week. So if the next week I was going to only save $200, let's say, save $200 for skydiving, I now have to save $700 for skydiving. Okay. The goal does not go away, right? Just because you didn't hit it doesn't mean it's like gone. It's still there. It just carries over. So it makes it that much more enticing for you to go out there and hit your goal, because if you don't hit your goal, it's going to carry over, and it's going to be harder to hit your goal now, and it's going to be longer, right? The best way I can describe this is through your business goals. So every year, let's say I want to have 10,000 contacts, okay? Or I want to make $120,000. I think this is the example. So $120,000, okay? I want to talk to 10,000 people. I want to add 1,000 people into my database. I want 5,000 followers on Instagram, and I want 12 appointments. I want 1 appointment a month. That's all I want, okay? We can break this down to a monthly goal, okay? We got book 1 appointment, okay? That's going to translate down here per week, book 0.5 of an appointment, right? And if you want to go crazy, round up to 1. So if you just focus on booking 1 appointment this week, okay, your monthly goal is to book 1, but if you do that every single week, you actually have booked 4, right? Simple math. But you see how that will kind of take you to the next level in your business, because without you even realizing, you've booked 4 appointments versus having just 1 appointment that you wanted to book, right? So now your business is going to grow because you're going to start converting more of those appointments. Same thing with contacts. Let's say you want to talk to 10,000 contacts, okay? You're going to break it down. Let's say it's like, 900 a month, 850 a month. Okay, now you're going to break that down to a weekly goal. So it's, 150 to 200 people per week. So every single day you're going to call that many people and break it down. And if you miss out on those people, then it gets carried over to the next week, right? Again, whatever the goal may be, obviously you want to make it so that it's attainable. And this chart is here for that, right? So it's always great to have those goals that are really, really great, or really, really big, I should say, that you need to work towards. And I personally believe in that. but sometimes you want to have a realistic goal that way you can actually achieve it, right? And it's that slow progress every single day that's going to get you that to where you want to go. I think, funny enough, he's probably a bad guy to talk about right now, but Will Smith has a great quote about this. And so he used to always say, I'm going to build a wall one day. I'm going to build this massive wall. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great, right? But you don't just go and build a wall. So his dad would come in and say, son, I want you every single day not to worry about building the wall, but worry about placing one brick every single day, and place that brick as perfectly as a brick can be placed. And over time, you will have a wall, right? Because every day you're going to build one brick, one brick, one brick, one brick, one brick. And as years go on, you're going to stand back and you're going to look, and it's going to be a massive, massive wall, right? So that's super, super important as well, because again, we want to have massive goals, but we also need to break down those massive goals into tiny actions that we can take every single day to get better and to push us a little bit more forward. And that will eventually help us hit those massive goals, okay? So that is the purpose of the 411, is to break down your goals to a weekly basis. 4 categories, 1 annual goal, 1 week at a time. I don't know what it actually stands for, but that sounds pretty good. Does anybody have any questions in regards to the 411? No? Does everybody get it? I should probably, let me pull up. You okay over there, pal? Poor Rob's dying in the background here.
Mhm.
Let me just get rid of this thing. Let me go to Google Drive. Can you guys still see my screen?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Okay, coaching. So under your profile, you should have a copy. Yeah, I believe it's in everybody's. Let me just check actually. Yeah, a copy of PSN 411. Okay, so it's in everybody's folder. You just go to your access your folder, and you should have a copy of your 411 that you can use every single week in order to help you get closer to attaining your goals, whatever they may be, right? If you guys don't have any other questions, that's pretty much the main stuff that I had to talk about today was, utilizing your calendar to a high level or to a high degree, the importance of it, and why you need to implement the 411 into your business. So if anybody doesn't have any questions, we can chat a little bit about whatever else is happening in your business that you might have questions about that we can hopefully have an answer for. Anybody having trouble right now that they need help with? No?
Good.
Marianne, Dorota, what do you guys got going on right now? Haley, how about you? Maria? No, everybody's just smooth sailing, eh?
No.
Well, I see you every morning, Mike. So when I have something,
That's true. You do see me every morning. That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So when I have something, I'll just shoot it right every day.
Yep. Yep. I can appreciate that. I can definitely appreciate that. Haley, what's going on in your world? Anything happening? We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I'm doing Ignite again via Zoom.
Cool.
So yeah, I feel like I've been so busy with my current clients that I've let go of lead gen to find new clients.
Right. Okay.
So that's what I'm
And
focusing
how has that
on.
affected your business?
It hasn't yet, but I know it will start to. And
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. Like I want to be busy after the spring too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love
So
that.
that's my goal. And I just started working with a personal trainer 3 times a week. So that's exciting. Woohoo, exercise
Nice.
goals.
Yeah, I know. So I work out with a personal trainer once a week, and it's definitely it sucks at times, right? Because they work you pretty good. I think today we're doing squats. So usually when we do squats, I can't walk the next day. So I'm not looking forward to it.
It's really good for mindset too.
It is.
I find like to even apply it to my business here.
100%. And honestly, like to me, it's not even just about the mindset. It's just like the activity, just scheduling it in. So like I know minimum, no matter what happens in my week, minimum I have one workout a week, 100%, right? And it's that is set aside in my calendar. There's nothing that is going to stop me from doing it. I can't book an appointment in there. That is once a week I get to exercise minimum, right? Anything else on top of that is a bonus to me, and I use it. And again, every day is different. But I'm trying to schedule in more time for exercise. Obviously, it's more important. But as now that summer's coming out, I'm an avid golfer, so I go out usually typically like 2 to 3 times per week in golf. So that's usually my form of exercise that I love, even though it's probably not the best form of exercise.
Better for getting a tan than exercise.
Yeah, it is. It is a good. It is good for getting a tan. Although it's surprising, especially when you walk, you would be surprised. You burn off quite a bit of calories. Like one round of golf can burn off about 1,500 calories, which is insane to think about. But it's because
Damn,
it's 4 hours.
That's
in
like
the- in
2
the sun.
Whoppers.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I know. You just got to not have beers and hot dogs at the turn. That's the key. Keeping those
Yeah.
off, right?
Yes, I'm really glad you had this session today. It's really relevant to me right now in my business because I'm trying to get back to like a schedule.
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah,
of
it
always,
is.
I just feel like every day is just follow up for me lately.
Yeah, and so that's the other thing actually that's really important is a part of that. Once you start to fall off on that lead gen and time blocking your time, is that's the exact problem that happens. All your follow-up calls start to get dragged along as well. So then you open up your follow-ups and it's like, oh my God, I got 50 people I got to call. And that alone takes a whole day, right? And so now you're down that as well. So you're slowly chipping away at your follow-ups over the span of a couple of weeks, along with chipping away at trying to lead gen. And it's not sustainable. It's just not. You got to get ahead of it. You got to fight it ahead of time and really stop it before it ever happens, because again, it's not sustainable at all. So I'm glad it's relevant in your world right now, and I'm glad you're using it to your advantage. Miriam, do you have anything going on in your world that you want to chat about? I don't know if you're able to come off and mute or not. Sorry, I'm at work. Okay, not a problem at all. Maybe stay quiet then. Maria, how about you? Anything going on in your world right now that you want to talk about to the group or share? No? Okay.
Sorry, I'm driving.
No worries.
Things are going really well. I just dropped off the check for my lease deal that went through last night. Woohoo!
Congratulations. Is that your first deal at KW?
So yeah, like things are on the, that is, yeah.
Good job. Nice.
So things are on the up and up. I just, my challenge, I guess, is, it's definitely with the time management, because as you know, I'm still, doing this part-time, and I feel I'm already starting to feel it bleed into my, full-time. Like I'm on my lunch break and I'm like inundated with calls from my clients.
Oh my gosh.
So learning to, schedule my time, and also the power of, saying no, like, oh, are you busy right now? Well, like, yes, actually I'm busy. Like, can I call you back later? And kind of being a little bit more, I don't want to say selfish with my time, but just, setting those boundaries where it's like, like you can call me, but let's set up a time to talk, not you call me at, 11 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm at work and I can't talk and you want to talk.
Yeah. Haley just threw up in the group chat there. She's asking you, when are you quitting? Which is funny because of our conversation we had yesterday.
Hopefully soon, Haley, hopefully soon.
We set her up yesterday to see what she's going to have to do to make it happen. So it's going to be sooner than I think she believes it will be. So we will see for sure, but it's exciting, but that's good. And the power of saying no is so key, because like there are times when people will call you at 9 o'clock at night. They'll call you on a Sunday really early in the morning, right? And it's like, it's up to you to decide, am I going to take this call or am I going to set a boundary, right? And it's very important you set a boundary. I remember like 2 weeks ago, I was at dinner at my dad's house, and it was Sunday night, 6 o'clock. One of his clients call him, and he's a contractor. And he went to pick up the phone, and I literally was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm going to answer it." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Wow, this guy's calling me." I'm like, Dad, this guy can wait till tomorrow morning. Like, it's Sunday night, 6 o'clock. We're sitting down as a family eating dinner. This guy can wait, right? Like, nothing, unless there's like something has gone completely wrong, I'm sure he would text you and let you know, and then you can read it and then assess it. Otherwise, he can wait, right? And so it's really, really important that you set those boundaries early on in your career, because they are important, right? You don't want to be taking those phone calls at 6 o'clock on a Sunday when you're having dinner. Sundays are for signings. We aren't signing a contract. Yeah, that's a good point. I love that, right? So unless you're signing a contract on a Sunday, you're not doing anything else, right? And even then, I could say you probably push it to Monday, right? But if you have to sign it on Sunday, all right, you can do it on a Sunday. Not a big deal. I love that. So I love that you take that approach of saying no to people. I think that's really, really important. And that pretty much sums up everything I kind of wanted to talk about today, guys. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll let you go kind of a little bit early here and enjoy your Thursday. I don't know why, maybe you guys don't feel this way, but today feels like the most Friday Thursday I've ever experienced. So I'm like ready to go home, but I know I have a whole afternoon of stuff to do now, and I'm not looking forward to having to go home and do it all again tomorrow as well. Anybody else feeling like it's a Friday or what? A little bit, Michelle? Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's sleep time, eh? That's fantastic. Alrighty, guys. I will talk to you all soon. Hopefully I'll see you all on the morning call. Take care and have a great night.